So now we are in the second part of the early Muslim expansion. I plan on covering at least the Battle of the River in this video. So last time Khalid did defeat, the Sassanid? I don't know why. There's this game called Mount and Blade Warband, and there's a faction called the Sassanids. So, I apologize that I've noticed in the videos when I talk about this empire, I kind of switch. Sometimes it's like Sassanian, Sassanid. Apologies. But, yeah, we should get to it. Either way, Khalid is kind of on a roll, and I kind of want to see more of him, because it seems like he's going to be the main focus of this series in particular, so it seems like he's gonna be, I guess, the main character, or at least the person whose exploits we might follow the most. At least I think so. I don't know. We'll find out. So let's get to it, shall we?
Meanwhile, Shah Yazdegerd, who
I should check the audio.
received Hormoz's letter in late March, decided to send an army under Karinz to reinforce his governor. The speed at which it happened suggests that only the forces around the capital were gathered. According to the sources, Karinz had somewhere between 15 and 25,000 men when he moved south and crossed the Tigris. He was apparently moving towards Uballa to help the governor, but after he crossed the small river named Makil, he encountered the rest of Hormoz's army led by Qubaz and Anushjan, some 10,000 troops. Karinz was told about the events of the Battle of the Chains. Simultaneously, a mobile force commanded by Muthanna appeared nearby, probably sent by Khalid to chase the remainder of the Sassanid force and scout ahead, while he was recruiting from the ranks of the Arab tribes in the area of Kazima and Hufir. We don't know what Karinz was thinking at this point, but it is clear that the Sassanids understood that they were not dealing with a minor raid, and they faced a traditional Bedouin Arab army made up of light cavalry. Catching Muthanna's mobile force in the open field would be impossible, since the Shah's army was considerably slower, so Karinz didn't move to the strategically crucial Uballa to protect it, likely worried that Muthanna would be able to attack his flank and rear. The Sassanid general decided to sacrifice Uballa and keep his position along the river in order to prevent Khalid from crossing the Tigris, and also from marching westwards to the most important city of the region, Al-Hira.
This is an interesting maneuver. Alright, so Karen's I keep just wanting to say Karen. But Karen's, as I'm gonna pronounce it, essentially, yeah, we do notice that the cavalry and the speed, of the Muslims came into play. So that makes sense. We've seen a lot of times in these war videos just how important speed is and outmaneuvering your enemies, right? And Karen's essentially notices this as well, and, instead of moving to Uballa, deciding to hold here, I think it sounds probably pretty sound in my opinion. I say as if I'm some expert, but at least from my amateur inexperience, I don't know, that sounds pretty smart. Obviously he doesn't want to put himself in a position where the faster enemy could have an opportunity to even attack him. And here it seems like a great taking a defensive position here and trying to ensure that Khalid doesn't move past or onward. Sounds pretty smart. Now it seems like maybe Khalid's gonna have to find a way to move Karen's, or at least get him out of the way, right? Or he's gonna have to find another way around. I don't know if there is another way around though, but either way, I think that was an interesting move. Sounds pretty smart in my opinion right now.
In the meantime, Khalid was informed by Muthanna that a new army was moving to the south. The Sassanid position left him no other way to advance. Using the whole army to take Uballa might have entrapped him, so only a small group was sent to take it, while Khalid went on and united with Muthanna. The battle that is now known as the Battle of the River took place in the third week of April.
I'm Connor Boyack, author.
The Sassanids had anywhere from 25 to 50,000 troops, depending on the sources, while Khalid commanded around 18,000, as he was able to reinforce his army by recruiting from the local Arab tribes. The sources for this battle are conflicted, so we will try to do our best to form a coherent narrative. Before the armies formed up in the morning, Khalid personally scouted the positions of Karinz's forces and was now sure that winning a set-piece battle was his only option to continue the campaign. He returned, and the armies started to get into formation, both having a similar structure with infantry in the center and cavalry on the wings. The Sassanid army was deeper, as its commander made no attempts to widen his front and outflank the enemy, probably relying on the superiority of his troops and the fact that his second rank would be fresh when the time came.
Yeah, we've heard this a few times. Sometimes, you know, with the ranks, especially like with the Romans in particular, right? Like the Romans, when they would fight, they would have several ranks. I think like with three. I mean, there are many eras of Rome, but I think some of the videos we saw, they had 3 ranks. So the idea was, I think sometimes they would have their best troops in the back. So when they finally reached the worn-torn enemy, who's probably more exhausted from the constant fighting, the better troops come in fresh, right? Like that's kind of the advantage of having certain ranks that we've seen in videos. And you know, but we also heard other times where a numerically superior army could widen itself, and an envelopment. We haven't seen, I can't remember we've seen it in practice, but we've heard it as an option in the past in these videos. I don't think I've ever seen an enemy army just widen its, you know, ranks as large as it can go. I think it might have accidentally happened when Octavian battled, Brutus, right? But that was an accidental flank or whatever, which is still, I don't know, funny, I think. But, yeah, overall, I think the Sassanids are definitely, they're waking up to how the Muslims are advancing, right? Like, at the beginning, the Muslims were just kind of this, you know, unbattle-tested group, but when they made their debut, they showed just how much they have a knack for war, you know what I mean, and for fighting. And I think the Sassanids are definitely starting to see it a bit, but even here, Karinz is still convinced of the superiority of the Sassanid troops. And, yeah, I agree. I'm wondering if this is gonna come into play, the creating the second line, as if that will help with a longer battle. Because so far here, from what we see of the Muslims, they only have this one rank, though Khalid himself can obviously act as a, what do you say, a reinforcing position, depending on if one of his flanks weakens. But yeah, I'm wondering if Karinz, I mean, it sounds pretty, we've seen this a lot before, so I think maybe Karinz, I'm just sorry, I'm like just thinking right now if this is gonna come into play or not. I like to speculate before we see things. And I'm thinking the Muslims are just gonna be on a roll. I think they're just gonna beat everyone. So my money's on them. I'm expecting the Muslims just to win every battle and just to stomp everyone. Though, who knows, right? Maybe they might lose. But, I don't know, maybe my mind's kind of on the Muslims right now. Because I feel like this is their rise, you know what I mean? That's my prediction, but we'll find out.
The battle started with Karinz calling for a duel. According to the Sassanid sources, duels were a way for the commanders to prove to the troops that they were ready to fall for them, so a personal combat between champions was a usual sight. Khalid wanted to answer the call, but one of the duelists who was near him galloped towards the Sassanid commander, and Khalid stayed back.
Yeah, I always thought kind of duels were cool. I think, yeah, the first part of the series was recorded like over a month ago, guys. So I can't remember if there was a duel proposed there, but either way, I think that duels are kind of awesome. It's kind of like inspiring, right? To see like your leader or commander get their hands dirty. I feel like that always inspires troops. Because it's, I mean, granted, it's definitely smarter, especially nowadays, for a commander not to put themselves or their life at risk. Because if they fall, what the heck happens? But, it is inspiring to see. And there's just something cool about just like, just surrounded by an army, especially when you think of like the Iliad or like, you know, the Hellenistic duels, 1v1s, where just commanders would jump and just fight each other with their armies looking on, cheering. It's kind of like sportsman-like, you know what I mean? I envision it in my head, and it just seems like such a cool concept, you know? But yeah, again, like, it does put you at a risk, and if your commander falls, oh crap, you know? That's bad. And I'm wondering if he's about to die right now. And then the rest of the army's gonna be screwed. Like, Karen's is about to die, and his army's about to be screwed. Though, it's probably best that Khalid, someone jumped the gun and wanted to prove themselves over Khalid. I kind of find that funny. Freaking Leroy Jenkins, like, hears that there's a duel, he rushes in, you know?
In the ensuing duel, the Arab fighter was able to defeat his opponent. That demoralized the Sassanids. So
are you not entertained? Holy crap.
Qubaz and Anushjan were probably forced to march forward and demand another duel to restore their morale.
Dude, imagine that they just 1v1 all the commanders, and then the army's just completely screwed over. Like, we don't have an overall leader. Like, Karen's just died. You know, the main guy just died right now. It's like, granted, I know, like, commanders have subordinates, and, like, we've seen in times where commander falls, someone else takes their place, but still, like, yeah. I guess we'll see.
The Muslim wing commanders, Asim and Adi, galloped to them. Soon, the Sassanid commanders were dead.
Holy crap, I was right. Like, see what I mean? Like, all your commanders are just killed. It's like cutting the head off of the army, right? Like, an army without, like, commanders, especially competent ones, is just kind of gonna flounder about. Man. Holy crap.
And Khalid ordered his entire army forward. Despite the fact that the Sassanids lost all of their top commanders, initially this charge was fruitless, as the forces of the Caliphate failed to make any headway and were even pushed back. But this pushback made the Sassanid lines disorganized, as the units lost cohesion due to the lack of command. Khalid was able to exploit this.
It's true, like, an army without a commander is just not gonna work, you know? Like, you need a guy dictating things and, like, maneuvering things. That's like I said, I think duels are cool, but again, like, beyond reckless if your commander gets themselves killed. It's like, the rest of the army's screwed, right?
And his counterattack created even more holes in the enemy formation. The rear of the Sassanid army attempted to retreat, while the front was still fighting. However, left with no support, the front was soon massacred. Lightly equipped and fast Muslim troops were able to catch up to the fleeing Sassanids with ease, and the battle restarted along the river. The sources do not give a clear picture of what happened here, but most of the Sassanid losses occurred in that area, as some were killed, some drowned, and some were able to cross the river. By the end of the battle, the Shah's army lost anywhere from 15 to 30,000 troops, while Khalid's casualties were in the hundreds. After the victory at the Battle of the River.
Holy crap. Alright, I'll end the video right there, because I just said we kind of wanted to just follow that battle, but holy crap. That was mainly just the commanders getting themselves killed and the army just falling apart after. But it goes to show you the importance, right, of an overall leader. And overall, yeah, another battle won by Khalid, man. And again, the Muslims just show themselves to be so, like, good at war. And Yeah, I guess we'll continue this tomorrow. So I'll see you guys tomorrow. Bye, everyone.